area that I can talk best from my own experience, and this is the only comment that I want to add. But 10 years, 11 years back, when we started doing online banking, there was a general belief that consumers really don't want to do this kind of stuff. And of course, in the US, this same conversation would have preceded by maybe 5 years or 7 years. But even as early as 2000, I think the general belief was people like to go to branches. People like to talk to relationship managers. So if we provide alternate access channels, really you're taking away value from what the customer wants to do. The customer doesn't want to talk to an IVR. The customer doesn't want to talk to an internet. The customer wants to be treated individually face to face. But the reality is pretty opposite. Lots of people in the audience, I do not know when's the last time that you must have visited a branch. And certainly, I spent 5 years, of the last 10 in Japan, where this argument really was far too late. I mean, there have been 3G since 2000, and there's more mobile than PC internet, and people don't come to branches. Even if you have branches, really, they're not productive, they're not effective. So there is a clear consumer, but the level of technology imagination to deliver a really high quality experience in a marketplace like Japan, I think that's the real thing to sort of compete with. It's one thing to say, you can look at your balances on a mobile phone or on the internet. It's another thing to deliver a stitched experience where you look at your cell phone at all points in time as on top the foreign exchange code. So if the people keep balances in 3 different accounts, so instantly you're able to see what your balances are and how the currencies are moving. Now, if you're interested in pursuing further, if you look at any mutual fund, or if you look at any currency, or if you say what credit is available, there is a button right next to it at any point in time, which is saying, if you want to get more details about this, just click here. And because it happens to be a mobile phone, if you click that, it connects you directly to your relationship manager. So you're not waiting in any IVR. The person who picks up your call is same time looking at your account. So you're not saying what's your account number and how do I get through there. So the experience transformation is so dramatic that you really can't believe that banking can be done in any other way. The easiest thing for me is to look at my balance, and anytime I have a question, I click. And the worst thing that I have is the RM is right now talking to a customer, I get called back. When I get called back, we're directly connected on that topic. And I'm not getting then push products, nobody's calling me to do stuff. So the business growth there, on those kind of projects is dramatic. We launched an internet-only account. It's a $500 million balance that got accrued in 12 months' time. And this is all through the period that Citi was going through some bad news and things like that. So it is very dramatic, but it was driven by experience change rather than simply by the fact that, internet is very rich there and these products can be theoretically made available. But I think the other important factor in a marketplace like India, so if you were to compare with US, 300 million people, 1 billion plastic, payment instruments are not a challenge. So the ability to do virtual commerce, requires ability to pay. And so long as that doesn't get addressed, so if bulk of India is excluded from having financial products that they can transact with, I think there is a necessity to have payment instruments, and that I think is the transformation that you're going to see in the next 5 years, which is why it's probably a good idea to focus on this now. So there is a billion people who are, in some form or the other, are going to get access to financial instruments, and that transactional ability, together with penetration of mobile phones and 3G, and together with sophistication, of an ecosystem that starts building a transformed experience. So if a courier person comes to my house to pick up a package today, he can barcode scan, he can do automation of that logistic in a beautiful way, but he has to collect cash at the end of that. So if instead of collecting cash, he just carries a cell phone and not a point of sale machine that he's trying to take and slug a credit card, which only works for 18 million people in India. Right? So if he had to collect cash there, if he just had a mobile phone and the payment gets confirmed back to the company that sent him, then neither is he dealing with cash, nor is there transit cash insurance involved, and there is a confirmation of instant payment, and the transaction is really high quality.